Other Matters Amendment Bill, second reading.
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, I move that the Telecommunications, TSO, Broadband and Other Matters Amendment Bill be now read a second time. Mr Speaker, I would like to begin by thanking the Finance and Expenditure Select Committee for its consideration of this bill. I also acknowledge the submissions that have resulted in changes to the bill and also to the Māori Party for their work to ensure Māori maximise the opportunities provided by the government's broadband plans. During its consideration, the committee considered a large and complex supplementary order paper which allows for a structurally separated telecom. By including the SOP, the committee recognised that structural separation will resolve many of the issues that have arisen in the past from a vertically integrated monopoly. The bill contains the regulatory framework for the ultra-fast broadband initiative and the rural broadband initiative and enables the funding of the rural broadband initiative. The key issue raised by the committee and by submitters in relation to the bill was regulatory forbearance, as it prevented the Commission regulating wholesale prices. While I consider the concerns raised were mostly theoretical, officials and I have listened to the committee and have found an alternative solution which will give the infrastructure builders confidence to stay committed to their low capped prices and customers confidence that they will continue to get the best prices over the 8.5-year build period. This alternative option relies on a key change made by the committee to the bill, the bringing forward of the general review of the telecommunications regime to 2016. The committee made changes to improve the content, transparency and the consultation and decision-making processes around the development of copper and fibre open access undertakings. Penalties have also been increased from $300,000 to $10 million for breaches of the fibre undertakings consistent with copper. These amendments give additional comfort to the sector about the robustness of the undertakings and the monitoring and enforcement of them. The committee has also required that the Chorus copper undertakings must specify reasonable timeframes for the transition away from sharing of systems and services between Chorus and Telecom. This amendment is a pragmatic solution which encourages a move away from the sharing arrangements, but recognises that imposing arbitrary fixed deadlines may have resulted in forced migration from systems or services at the expense of service quality standards for access seekers and consumers, or complex and costly variations processes. I also support the committee's amendment to the definition of equivalence. To make it clear, the government's intention is to apply the equivalence of inputs standard that applied under the telecom operational separation regime will remove concerns that the previous definition watered down the important equivalence test. Further, making mandatory in the deed that all local fibre companies must build their network equivalents of inputs ready for unbundling at Layer 1 at 2020 will ensure the new fibre network is being built for full open access and competition after the initial build stage. The committee's amendments to the Commerce Act authorisations tighten the authorisations so that they cannot be used for arrangements outside those between government and UFB and RBI providers, and make it clear that they are time-bound. I will be tabling a supplementary order paper at the Committee of the House stage, which will make the amendments to remove forbearance and other technical amendments to the bill which have arisen since the report back. This bill provides the regulatory framework for improvements in broadband that will be truly transformative to this country. The UFB will see New Zealand leapfrog its competitors and become one of the most connected countries in the world. Its broadband speeds will revolutionise the way Kiwi firms do business, the way our kids learn and the way our health services deliver to us as patients. The RBI will deliver on the government's plan for vastly improved and affordable broadband services for rural New Zealand. And finally, the bill also facilitates a dramatic improvement in the way New Zealand's telecommunications industry is organised. Mr Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. I call the Honourable